Hi, my name is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to The Last Podcast, where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time listening, I'm glad you found us and I hope you enjoy the show. If you're returning, I appreciate you listening and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. Today, I want to touch base on a topic called emotional intelligence. But before I do, we'll be right back after this message. Hi, this is Dave with The Last Podcast. Do you want to earn extra money from home? Or would you like to start your own home-based business helping people save money on services they're already using? Then hit me up at the last podcast 443 at gmail.com and I will share with you how so many people are starting to earn and generate an extra income from the comforts of their own home. This is Dave with The Last Podcast. We'll see you soon. All right, I'm back and I am talking about emotional intelligence. And what I'm going to do is, being that this can be a real long topic, and for the sake of this show, I'm going to just touch based on the outskirts of it and hope that it is enough for you to go investigate for yourself and take a look at your own emotional state and how you can build upon your own emotional intelligence. And what is, I'll probably start off with that. What is emotional intelligence? There are a lot of different definitions online about emotional intelligence. I believe it's the capacity to be aware of, control, and express your emotions, as well as to navigate interpersonal relationships with both good judgment and empathy. In short, I believe that emotional intelligence is how we behave, think, act, and feel when you're by yourself and around others. I believe also that everybody has an emotional intelligence, whether it's developed or undeveloped, or whether we have the ability to control our emotions or they're left uncontrolled and unchecked. And you would definitely know if you're the type of person who lets your emotions get the best of you, or the people around you, your loved ones or friends and family, can probably be the first ones to tell you whether you're the type of person who let your emotions get the best of you. So why is having emotional intelligence important, and why is it important to develop? I believe that emotional intelligence is a skill set one should develop. I find it a critical acumen to have with the ability to navigate through the sea of emotions that we go through, and understand, with the understanding that while being able to manage our own emotions, with the capacity to emphasize with the emotions of others in an effective and rational fashion. So I'll tell you, I believe we're all emotional creatures. We're all emotional beings first, and some of us act out of how we feel in the moment. So once our emotions level off, then we're able to think rationally about whatever it is that we're experiencing or going through. So we tend to behave, act, or even think completely different. So why is it important to get our emotions in check or under control? I could tell you from experience. So if you don't learn how to harness your ability to effectively control your emotions, it can impair your judgment to a degree that you may regret a decision you've made in that moment. So think about that. I know I'm not the only one who's made a decision and in hindsight probably said, you know what, I could have done something entirely different. So if you don't learn how to harness that ability in the moment, you might find yourself in trouble. I'm sure. I believe that there is somebody out there who have heard the news of something, experienced something, or even a loved one passing, or whatever the case may have been. You probably didn't act logical in that moment. And I get it. I understand. There's nothing wrong with being emotional or letting ourselves feel that pain. In essence, some pain, I believe, we have and we have to go through. I believe that we become stronger if we go through that pain, and be more resilient people. So, yeah, I've been there. I've made decisions in the heat of the moment that I've come to regret, or I look back in hindsight and said, you know, I could have handled that a whole lot differently. And I believe that sometimes when we can look at our emotions and say to ourselves, you know what, there's a better way of doing this, and that's showing that I have control over my emotions and not letting my emotions get the best of me. And then, I believe your decision making will become a whole lot better. When we start making decisions based on our emotions, I believe we can get ourselves into trouble. And looking back, like I said, in hindsight, I believe that we probably would have come out making a better decision had we had better control over our emotions. And I believe emotional intelligence is not just leaving out our emotions, but effectively managing our emotions so that we can make actually better decisions. So I think that's why I'm talking about this today, because yeah, we know this, but sometimes we forget it. Sometimes we have to bring things to the forefront so that we can remember and remind ourselves, hey, look, let me make sure I'm handling this situation correctly. Let me make sure I'm doing this correct. So how do we know? How do we know that we lack emotional or even, let's say, social intelligence? So I'll give you 5 questions to ask yourself. Okay, do you get into a lot of arguments? That's question number 1. Now, arguments, debates. How some people like to blur the lines. Debates are different than an argument. Do you feel overly sensitive? That's the second question. My third question is, do you struggle to see the point of view of others? And I know there are a lot of people out there like that. So I know there are people who just cannot, no matter what you say, no matter how much proof you can show them, they just cannot see your point of view worth nothing. And second, do you have emotional outbursts? Now, if that's you, then you know who you are, or you might know somebody who actually have emotional outbursts. Or are you the type of person who disengage and leave a heated environment or conversation? And that's 2 parts, because you wouldn't know. You basically can be the person who don't like confrontation, but you're emotional steady. Or if you see that you're getting into an argument and you see that, okay, we have to agree to disagree because, you're going to feel one way and I'm going to feel one way, and we're not going to really meet in the middle here at all. And that's understandable. That's being mature about it. So, okay, I understand that. Now, I want to go into something else, right? So emotional intelligence sometimes is a way that we can hone in on dealing with how we feel and see things, right? So are you having a bunch, and I put this question here because this is something I recently went through. Are you having sleepless nights? Are you having dominating thoughts preventing you from sleeping at night? If so, what are they? And here's another question that I put here. Are you insecure about something? If so, what is it? Is it something that you can work on and change? If not, perhaps instead of being insecure about it, maybe we need to change our perception of what it is that we're insecure about to help us move forward. And I have one more. How often do you treat yourself with love and respect? That's a big one, right? I mean, we believe we do, we think we do, but how often do you think about it? Do you take a few minutes out of a day and sit down and really hone in on how you feel about you, yourself? Peel away some layers. As you peeling away the layers, what are you thinking about? How do you feel about yourself? So emotional intelligence is something that I think we all should take a look at for ourselves, because we can all grow in this department. And there is a lot of resources online that can help you do so. Heck, there are a ton of courses online about social and emotional intelligence. You can really hone in on that stuff. So I give you 5 more keys to take a look at: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Because it's not just about you. Emotional intelligence is about who you interact with as well. So take this up. I hope this was food for thought for you and help you start taking a look at yourself on a deeper and more intimate level. There are so many free resources online that can help you start to grow your awareness and emotional intelligence and build upon that knowledge and everything that you'll gain from looking into it. I believe you find enlightenment, growth, and deeper understanding for yourself. And I also believe that you would develop a stronger relationship with your friends, family, and associates while developing a stronger bond with your loved ones. So, I want to thank you for listening, and I hope that this was good food for thought that allow you to build on an inquisitiveness and investigate and learn more about your own emotional intelligence and becoming a better, well-rounded person. Please tune in to listen on Friday, which is Poetry Friday, because I'll have another new poem to share with you. Poetry Friday is where I read a poem from one of my favorite authors or share with you a poem of my own making. Again, this is Dave with The Last Podcast. Until Friday, see you soon.